There are typically 4 reasons why you may struggle to move off on your clutch quickly, and I'm going to highlight them in this video today. Number 1 is preparation of the clutch. In a lot of cars, when you put your clutch down, you go all the way to the floor. Now, right at the bottom of your clutch, it's what I call dead space. And there's generally a gap, I can't guarantee it because it all depends on different cars, but about a centimeter or so. And I say that quite tentatively because all cars are different and you need to test it on your car. Now, preparation simply means bring your clutch up a little bit so that you're not flat to the floor and you don't find yourself when you're ready to move off going, where is it, where is it, where is it, why am I not moving? And then very quickly bring your clutch up and stall. If you can see here, I've got my handbrake on. So what I'm doing, I'm going to stick it in gear 1. I'm going to slowly bring my clutch up, bring it up a bit more till it releases. Now, when it releases, that light's going to go off. I'm now actually have no handbrake and the car's going to start moving. On the floor, what that actually is, it's from where my foot is now all the way down there. That was how far away the floor is to the biting point. Now, I don't want to release the handbrake. I want to just get close to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring that clutch up about a centimeter, and that's about it. And you can see that my handbrake has not released. That means when you're wanting to move off quickly, you've got a smaller movement. It should be a lot quicker for you to move off. So the first thing is, don't have your foot flat on the floor. Bring the clutch up a tiny bit so you're closer to the biting point. The second thing that people tend to struggle with when it comes to moving off quickly is they come too high on the biting point. If you're way too high, now I can't practice that in my car because I've got an electric handbrake, and the electric handbrake in my car will release immediately. But it does have an impact when you're using feet. As you get closer to the biting point, the engine recognizes that you haven't added any gas, and it gives it this kind of little short burst of gas. If you start raising your clutch much higher than that, you're going to be on the biting point, and if you keep bringing it up, you're going to be too high. When you lift your foot off the foot brake, the car's just going to chug and stall. So I'm going to remove my handbrake here for a second. If I'm using pedals, I've got my foot on the foot brake, and I'm going to bring my clutch up to where the biting point is. Bringing the clutch up just that centimeter, the rev bounces. Now, if I bring the clutch up a little bit further, I'm going to hear that the pressure's now building up behind that clutch. And then when I go to release my foot brake and I'm moving forwards, and then if I lift the clutch up again, I'm going to stall. So that's the second reason. You're bringing your clutch up too high on the biting point. The third thing is that you don't hold the clutch for long enough. What that means in driving terms is you need to be holding your biting point for somewhere between 3 to 5 seconds before you can lift it up. So you got to be patient. I'm going to go gas. I'm going to find that bite. I'm going to hold it for a good 2-3 seconds before I lift it off, and then I would gently lift the clutch up. So I add the gas, which is what I'm going to show you in a second. I find that biting point. I hold it for 1, 2, 3. Speed's now above 5. I can now lift the clutch up. If you don't hold it for 2-3 seconds, you're going to struggle. The third thing that people don't do when they're moving off quickly on their clutch is they don't add any gas. This one's actually really important, and maybe it needs to come somewhere a little bit closer down this list. But gas is definitely something that you need to be adding when you're moving off. When I start the engine, the needle's idling just below, what is that, about 800 revs. Now, when you struggle to move off without gas, what you're doing is you're using that amount of rev, and the car is just going to choke. If you put it under pressure, that needle's going to drop because it's always going to be dragged downwards. So if I find the biting point here, you see the little rev go up and then it goes straight back down again. So what I need to do in order to maintain that is raise the revs away. If I push the revs away from that point, I'm less likely to stall. And as it finds the biting point, you can see it's sinking. So I can add a little bit more gas to bring it away. So the biting point is going to drag the rev counter down, and the gas is going to counteract that by pushing it away, making it less likely that I can stall the car. Practice using your gas pedal before you actually try and move off. You can add a bit of gas, get those revs up, and then come off it again, and then set the gas again. Just get used to pressing the gas pedal. So breaking that down in your feet, that would be gas about a depth of a pound coin. When I say depth of a pound coin, imagine a pound coin flat on a table, and it'd be about that thick, wouldn't it? That's it. And then I bring the clutch up to the biting point, the revs dip a little bit, so I add a bit more gas, I hold the biting point where it is, and then I bring the clutch up a tiny bit more, let the car get moving, and then slowly bring my clutch up. And by doing that, I'm going to be able to move off quickly. If you recognize some of these things in your driving as to why you are stalling in high pressured situations, if you look at these 4 things, it's probably one of these 4 things that's creating the problem for you. If you like what you've seen here, hit the like button, subscribe if you want more content, and I'll see you in the next one. Get well out. The whole point, I'm not sure why I'm doing that.